No?
And we are live. Welcome to Sketch, Ink, and Repeat, Episode 4. Let's get random with the Random Character Challenge. I'm your host, Nathan Rackley, with co-hosts Ben Girven and Jenn Myers.
Hello.
And so, say hello, Ben.
Hello.
What you already did, and hello, Jenn.
G'day.
I did. Said hello.
And mine is this screen here. But so, anyways, let's get random. We did have a couple of submissions since the last Sketch Ink Repeat episode, so I wanted to feature those real quick. This is a picture done by artist Melissa Soso over on DeviantArt. Her prompt was "Confused Minotaur Archer." I just love her line art style.
Oh yeah.
Very, very fluid, very dynamic. She does a lot of illustration and inking. And,
I believe the technical terms are that thing is dope and or ill.
It's ill. It's so cool. Yeah, so I really love this piece. I think it looks great. And you know, for anybody who wants to participate in the Random Character Challenge, this is something that's open to everybody. So you can look up a prompt. We'll show that link in just a moment. Look up a prompt, get a random prompt, draw a random character, post it to the DeviantArt group, post it to our Facebook or our Twitter, and then we will look at it, and chances are we'll feature it in a future episode. So this is Melissa's, and then we've got another one. Now this one's cool. This is by Zachary Bradley. Zach DB at DeviantArt. His prompt was Demon Bride. He did this off of the horror prompt last month in October, and he did it while he was watching the show.
The nice thing about this guy's art is that you think to yourself, oh, I'm not that good of an artist, and then you see this guy's stuff and you're like, oh, it's okay, I don't need to be that good of an artist. This guy's got that covered. I'll take care of it. I'll just do whatever the heck I'm doing. So thanks for that, Zach. That's
I love Zach's style. Zach is a concept artist. He's a professional illustrator. Gorgeous work. I definitely recommend people check out his gallery. He's got a very, very awesome portfolio, very strong portfolio. And so he does a lot of concept art like this. And so if you like this style, which this is one of my favorite styles of artwork and digital illustration, definitely check out Zach's stuff. And check out Melissa's stuff. She does a lot of the cartoon, animation, cell style art as well. So if you're interested in anything that looks like this or like Disney style animation, she does a lot of that. And I'm pretty sure that both of them also do take commissions. So shout out to both of them, and thank you very much, guys, for submitting pieces to the Pen and Stylus Gallery. We really appreciate it. It's awesome of you guys to do that. So just moving forward. So here we go. The information on generating your random character prompt. All right. So anybody can generate a random prompt. Just go to random.girven.org. That's where the current random generator is. It's very random. We're working on a new one. Mm-hmm. That will be more advanced, but that probably won't be done until December. So for right now, random.girven.org. And then if you do a creation, post your creation to us. Let us know. We'd like to see it. penandstylus.deviantart.com. That's our DeviantArt group. You can join that if you're on DA. Then we also have our Facebook group. We have, and you can also label stuff with hashtag Random Character Challenge. It's a long hashtag, but just an image link and then Random Character Challenge. We look at these, we look for these, and then we will feature the ones that you guys do. So, anyways, I guess I'll go ahead and switch to camera here. Hello, my over-the-shoulder cam. Hope you guys are having a good evening, and not too crazy of a weekend. But anyways, you guys ready to get started with illustrating?
Yeah.
Do something quick?
Yeah.
Now, our show from earlier, and sorry there was a little bit longer of a delay between episodes. We had to discuss some business stuff, but
They had to control my crying.
Business stuff, yeah. But with the Pen and Stylus episode we had earlier was awesome. We had Stephen McCraney on. He had to go, unfortunately. He had some stuff going on, like sleep. McCraney! I get it! But for those of you who want to catch what he did, go ahead and check out Pen and Stylus episode 4. It should already be done and on our YouTube page. We streamed that just a short while ago. Awesome show. We walk through a lot of user questions about illustrating in Manga Studio. We demo in both Manga Studio 4 and 5. So whichever version you have, all of the stuff we talked about, we kind of show how to do it in both programs. So awesome show. It was really great to have him. So thank you, Steve, for coming out for that. We really appreciate it. We will be having some other interesting guests in the future. I know I have been approached by a couple of people about also potential topics to cover. So we'll be lining up some pretty fun shows here in the near future, which is going to be awesome. But anyways, so let's get on to generating random prompts. Who wants to generate the prompts? Do you want to generate the prompts, Ben?
I think Jen should do it.
Jen, yes, Jen should be the proctor of prompts.
How do I do this?
Yeah.
I go to this website.
Yeah.
Random.girven.org. See, we do it too.
Org. Whose website is it? Is this Ben? Is this yours?
It's Ben's.
Yeah, that's mine.
Nice. A female troll who is a prisoner who may be ill or nauseous. Nauseous. That's how you say that word. Nauseous.
Who are you assigning that to?
Oh, aren't we all doing the same thing?
Oh, or do we
Are
all
we
do
no
that?
longer doing that?
That's fine. I just brought one up that I like that I will bring over into the window. I just clicked on it and it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Just deny my power
No,
right there.
She has the power. She's the one that decides.
Unless you want to decide.
All right.
That's mine. Unless you want to decide. Do you want to give it away? You can. I can go with a different one. I'm more than happy to.
I think Jen has the power this time.
Jen has the power. Yes, Jen, you have the power.
All right. Let's do it. Let's do a troll, man. Let's do it.
Okay. So are we all going to do the same prompt? Or are we going to do separate prompts?
Same, right?
Yeah, let's do the same. That's fine. Female troll who is a prisoner who may be ill or nauseous. That's actually not a bad one.
I'm foreseeing a lot of barfing in this one.
So, female troll.
Yeah.
Ill nauseous. Alrighty. And just getting set up in the software. I notice Ben is using his Sketchbook Pro. Awesome software. I love Sketchbook Pro. I need to use it more in the future.
Uh-oh. Forgot how to spell. Ooh, it's gone forever. I actually closed that window.
N-A-U.
Oh, we just say sick. Sick works.
Yeah. We'll go with that. Sick.
Who happens to be sick. Oh, and welcome to all the people that jumped onto the stream. Hello. How are you guys?
Yeah, you gotta pull that up.
Yep. So some people are asking what the generator is. Yes, you load up the page, random.girven.org. I'll type in random.girven.org. You type it in. It gives you a random prompt, and then you draw that random prompt. It's fun. Fun with friends. You know, they've got words with friends. Well, we have fun with friends. I'll get like sued for copyright infringement for saying words with friends. So the real question is, because I actually have in my graphic novel I'm working on, I do have trolls. Should I draw one of those trolls? Is the real question.
I think you should.
I think I should. So any crazy stuff happened this week with you guys?
Like what?
You guys have any crazy stuff going on this week? Crazy stories?
Yeah, John was out of town for like a week, and I kind of reverted to this like feral subhuman creature that lived only on Kit Kats and Diet Coke.
Oh, I remember you tweeting about Kit Kats and Diet Coke.
It
You're
was
like,
not pretty.
Like husband's back, no more Kit Kats or something like that.
Oh yeah, thank goodness, because man, I ate a lot of powdered gas station donuts and Kit Kats.
That's not good.
No,
Or, well,
no.
it's actually very good, but not good for you. Kit Kats are one of my favorite candies.
Oh, I know, right? They're crunchy yet chocolatey.
Kit Kats, why do you torture us so? Just that right balance of biscuit with chocolate. Whatever. So the real question of mine is, how old is said troll?
Yes.
I'm going to make her older because, or a little bit older.
Yeah,
My-
because like child prisoners are kind of creepy.
What?
'Cause-
Child prisoners are... No, it has to do with the visual design I'm working on for this race.
oh, okay.
How they look as they're older. It's like, okay, which visual design do I want to do? I'm just kind of constructing the face here. So I'm liking the way Ben's going. Pretty cool. He got his troll with his hooked nose. So my trolls actually from my series look significantly different than your traditional troll.
Hmm.
Just because I decided to switch it up a little bit with their visual design. So yes, for those of you who are looking forward to Minions, this is what the trolls look like. Of course, those of you who are into Minions already know that, because you've seen them in my gallery. Doing a little bit more detailed style, like live blogging my drawing. So what are you working on, Jen? You're working on a very rounded troll face.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out something that I can actually finish. That's kind of my primary goal right now.
I think that that is an admirable goal, since sometimes with these streams it's difficult to finish in a decent amount of time.
Always.
I mean, like my robot archer, like I had to go and I had to put an extra to finish that up because I decided to do it like a painting because I was insane. It ended up being quite a bit more work to finish that illustration. I mean, I like how it ended up. It's just a lot more work.
Yeah.
Ben drawing a bucket. That's brilliant.
What? That's funny.
Oh, now I can't draw a bucket.
You can draw a bucket.
No, Ben owns all buckets ever, forever.
Oh my god.
So I've been working on refactoring kind of my original troll really didn't have any legs to speak of, and I've been trying to refactor kind of the physical design from my original concept sketches to actually give them, because I realized it was hard to draw. If you don't have legs, it's hard to draw you sitting without just like having your feet sticking out in front of you. So. Yeah, so mine's going a little bit more the cartoony route, but that's okay. It's a female troll, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Did you say something about a prisoner? Or
Yep,
is that something else? So it's a female troll prisoner?
yep. That's the thing.
I think I missed that part. So green is the new black then?
What? Oh, I see what you did there. Topical. I get it. I get jokes.
Haven't even seen that show.
I haven't seen it. Wendy's watched it. I haven't seen it.
What did she think?
Well, she liked it. She enjoyed the heck out of it. So.
The ones that have been coming highly recommended to me lately are Gotham and The Flash, which I already watched.
Flash is pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna watch Gotham. I can't get behind a Batman show that doesn't have Batman in it.
Well, it does, sort of.
No, it doesn't.
It's got Bruce Wayne. I don't know. I like Jeff Gordon, so I think I'd give it a try. Constantine's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah.
But I will...
Not my thing.
I will say, though, that...
No, that's... The cat was totally innocent in that situation. It's the dog you should have moved. Okay, so yeah, my dog is totally abusing the cat. And John backed the wrong pet. Damn it, John.
I don't know if I'm going to keep legs like this. I don't like that one. Let's see here. Switch back to Jenn so we can see how her construction is going. You're kind of blocking out your general forms right there, Jenn.
Yeah, sure.
You're also blocking out a background at the same time, it looks like.
Yeah. Kind of got a, yeah, sure.
I mean, I don't know if other people do. I see kind of the concept you're going with.
Okay, good.
I've seen a lot of artists actually use that concept that have come from a very traditional background, traditional art background.
Really? Like, what do you mean?
Where you do the very gestural, general forms to kind of get the shape and the silhouette in before you start actually adding in detail.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I have seen that a couple of times now. Actually, I think it's an interesting approach.
Is that not how you do it?
Oh well, I mean, if you look at mine, at least right now, like I'll do that, but my forms, like I do them piece by piece, and I'm actually like blocking out the actual character line art.
Yeah, you're kind of like Ben, where you just go right in and draw it.
And it depends on the piece. If I'm doing backgrounds, I do it a lot like you do.
Okay.
But if I'm doing the character illustration, and I know what the character design looks like. See, that's the thing. I already know what these trolls look like because they are kind of a pivotal thing in the universe I'm working on for the graphic novel. Which, for those who are not familiar, I'm working on the graphic novel series. It's Tales of Dallin Moria is the official title, but the working title for the first book is Minions, and it's about kind of a variant of your traditional fantasy world, where you've got like these races, and you're coming up to the point where you're almost at Industrial Revolution tech level. And so what happens when you got a bunch of sentient races in a fantasy world, and suddenly somebody invents gunpowder and they actually start using it, stuff like that. What happens in that setting? Now, it's been some of those concepts have been explored a little bit, but like trolls. Of course, trolls. You've got the traditional fantasy stuff. They live under bridges, but my trolls are just really good business people, businessmen and women. They see bridges as an investment opportunity in buying up crappy land, putting something people want to cross over in it, and charging them money. It's a great strategy, and they make sure that the land is properly licensed, and they make sure that they've got the business license and stuff like that for the thing. But it makes the humans mad, and the elves, of course, are like, filthy trolls! How dare they charge us money? But I mean, I'm having fun with the script and the story. So that it will be the first book. It was originally a 24-hour comic. Is available for free to read on my DeviantArt page, and then it is in print for those who want to buy it. And then the actual graphic novel, which was originally going to be coming out in August, but due to school issues, I wasn't able to get the thing launched just due to time constraints, and I want it to actually launch well. I want the graphic novel to launch well. So I had to push back the launch to December. so it'll be mid to late December. But that's also because I'm buffering several pages, so that way I never miss a week.
Yeah.
So I'm buffering like a couple of months worth of penciled pages, and I'm buffering like a month worth of ink pages. So Wiley's asking, are they racist against trolls? Well, some people are racist against trolls. That actually is going to be a topic that will come up in the story. So it'll be interesting to see. And so it's a very fun project. I have really been enjoying working on it so far. And I've had some great beta readers that have been going through and reading and editing and giving me feedback. The other reason I had to delay the release was because I had gotten some feedback on stuff that realized that I needed to rewrite part of the first chapter. Like pages 3 through 10 needed to be rewritten, and so that kind of changed. I'd started penciling some stuff, and so I had to go back and start changing things and fixing them so that way there aren't, because there are some plot holes, and I don't want to have plot holes in the story, so it's kind of like a motherly troll. This motherly troll prisoner. All right, so let's see what other people are doing. Ben is looking at folders. Jenn's, oh yeah, look, see, Jenn's already starting to get blocked out there. She's doing her forms. So Jenn, you do a lot of painting.
I used to. I don't as much as I used to.
I can see the painting background coming in there too. Like once again, I have seen a lot of traditional artists use that block out approach, very like what you're doing right there. Which is cool. I think it's a very cool approach, and if you're blocking out a paint, that's a really good way to do it because then you build up your tones.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time doing that right now. I'm trying to mess around with these settings, and it's not quite working with me. There we go.
Yeah. At least in my series, so I've got like some at least for my trolls, they start off looking, when they're young, they look really cartoony. And then as they get older, they develop more human proportions. The trolls do. So if people are wondering, like, this guy doesn't look like Malcolm from your 24-hour comic, well, that's because Malcolm is very young. I'm like thinking up things. I'm like arguing with myself. The readers. Yeah. So the older the troll, the more human-looking they are. They still have their cartoon things. They don't have a nose. Maker.
You know what? Ben does not own buckets. Screw that.
No, he doesn't own buckets.
Yeah.
I might stick a bucket in mine.
You hear that, Ben?
I heard that.
The gauntlet's off.
Yeah.
So I had a funny thing happen to me yesterday after dinner. There's a funny story that I figure I can go ahead and share because it's kind of hilarious. So there's these discounts. Are either of you guys familiar with the store Dollar Tree?
Yeah.
Nope. Oh, yeah,
Dollar Tree. Okay, now Dollar Tree is a franchise store here in the U.S., because I know we've got some viewers that are outside the U.S. So Dollar Tree is a store, it's a U.S. franchise store where everything in the store costs $1 US. Hence why it's called Dollar Tree. Well, I have to say that because there are other stores that have dollar in the name that do not charge just $1 for every item. And I love Dollar Tree because sometimes you can get art supplies for super cheap, like decent art supplies for very, very cheap there, aka $1 for something that would cost like a couple bucks at the hobby store. I mean, I've got this nice art store down the street from my house called Artisan, but I don't. They're kind of expensive. I love the store, but they're a little pricey.
Yeah.
And by a little, I mean they're really pricey. Ben shops at Artisan a lot, I think.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I bought a couple things there, but yeah, they're definitely
expensive.
But
ever since Langell's went out of business, Artisan's kind of like the only mom and pop style art store of that genre around here other than Hobby Lobby and Michael's. And so, it's always good to support your local shops when they're around. And so I go to, but then again, student, or I need to be able to afford food. So I go to places like Dollar Tree and I try to shop for bargains. Well, okay, so I go and they have this tool section now that they've added to Dollar Trees, which I didn't know existed, but apparently it does now. They've started carrying very simple tools and supplies, and I've got some projects coming up that are going to chew through some supplies, and I didn't want to ruin my nice ones.
Mm-hmm.
Things like my nice hobby knives and stuff like that, because I'm going to have to do a lot of cutting of plastic. We recently got a 3D printer in our shop, so so I want to be able to clean plastic and stuff like that. And then I'm also planning on working on some things that are wood. And so I was walking through in the Dollar Tree. They were carrying things like they have hand saws, like an actual physical saw.
Yeah.
For $1. And I was like, well, that saw probably sucks, but it's $1.
So.
And if I need it to cut some crappy piece of plastic, it's $1. And so I was going through, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to need to cut some plastic and wood. So I was going through, and I'm picking up just general tool supplies because I don't have a whole lot of tools here at my house, and I'm trying to fix that. So I was getting screwdrivers, safety goggles, work gloves, electric tape, duct tape, twine. And then yeah, so I saw the saw, I picked up the saw, picked up some, the hobby knives, those snap-off knives that you can get, the box cutters that are really, really useful for cleaning up or cutting things like paper, because I need to do some foam core work. And so I was like, yeah, so that would be, a nice way. I should save this.
Yeah, good point.
Otherwise, I'll have to go back to a screenshot of our stream if I lost it. But yeah, so I was picking up all this stuff. They had drop cloths for $1. They had packs of sandpaper for $1. They had a variety of different grits. So I was like, this is awesome. So I just grab all this stuff. I throw it in my batteries, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I throw them all in my thing. I go over to the cash register and I'm sitting there to check out. And so I'm waiting. It's a long line because it's a Saturday night. And there's a bunch of people there, and so I'm sitting waiting, and then I come up to the front of the line, and the cashier looks down at the stuff that I'm wearing. She goes, "Are you planning to murder somebody?" And I go, "What?" And I look down at what I have. I've got a mask and gloves. I've got box cutters. I've got a drop cloth. I've got twine. I've got duct tape.
That's awesome.
I've got rope, a little thing of rope. It's all of the supplies that you would need to dispose of something.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I didn't know what to say. I was like,
The answer is
I've got projects.
not right now.
And what I wanted to say was, if I was going to murder someone, I wouldn't be this stupid. But then I realized that would have been a bad thing to say, because the lady was looking at me funny, and then all of a sudden, all of the other people behind me in line started looking at me funny.
That's funny.
What does he have? And it was just, I was like, what the heck? It was funny though. It was like, are you planning to murder somebody? It was like I hadn't even thought about it. I was just grabbing stuff off the shelf. I'm like, let's get a saw. Let's get a drop cloth.
That is funny.
So I think that might make it into a My Imaginary Life comic at some point. That one's going to be very strictly. I'm probably going to have to, when I do print that, it's probably going to have to be PG-13 label. At least on some of the strips. I don't know if they'll end up in the actual print publication, just because. So I'm liking the inking that Jenn's doing. Yeah, it was just crazy. Let's look at Ben's. Ooh, nice clean line art. What? Oh, you're inking in Manga Studio. Dude.
Yeah, I'm trying it.
So
I want to use it. Like I said, I'm not quite comfortable.
So do you have the Friendem brushes?
For Photoshop, yeah, not for
Okay.
Studio yet.
I found a Friendem brush for Manga Studio that feels like the Illustrator brush.
Really?
Basic round, yeah. I found one that works and feels almost exactly the same.
Actually, truth be told, this one's
I
not.
recognize this one.
Just the G Pen's not bad. I mean, it's.
Oh no, I love the G Pen. I swear by the G Pen. I was just messing with some of these other ones, and I found this one brush. It's called like the Natural.
Uh-huh.
And it feels and it leaves a line that is almost identical to the Illustrator one. I was like, I can go back and like touch up my old comic strips with this. Like that was the thought I had. I was like, I could go back and remaster some old strips and no one would know.
Yeah.
With this brush. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to put a bucket in because Ben does not own buckets.
That's right.
I don't know. I might.
See, my problem with a lot of these is I don't think that I put enough of the emotion into them.
Oh yeah, I feel the same thing. There's a couple I just totally missed, even though I was trying. I just didn't think about it enough ahead of time to really nail it.
Yeah,
but then
well,
that's the other problem is you're not really, we're not giving ourselves a lot of time to really think about it. You're just kind of
no.
The whole idea is to go with that gut reaction.
But that's part of the thing, and so.
Well, and it's also kind of like training. I mean, if nothing else, it's trying to make us better at doing just that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So, I do like the line quality though on your troll.
Thank you.
Liking the way he's looking. My question for me is, what do I want to put on the wall behind her? She's kind of like up against a wall.
Oh, she is supposed to be in a prison, or a prison of some sort.
Probably gonna have to do bars on a window or something.
Nope, you can't. I own all the bars.
You don't own bars.
See, look, I own the bars. The bars are right there. I own them.
No, I totally have bars right here. Look at that.
Copyright 2014. Ben.
Ben G.
I'm kidding.
So I'm just working on my troll. Working on my troll. Maybe I should do shadows instead. Yeah, so we had a great stream earlier, which was awesome. I really appreciate all you guys that came out to watch, and props to Steve for coming out to talk. Learned a lot watching him. As always.
Still more to learn, though.
I'm a cranny.
I need that guy's brain.
Just pick his brain. I mean, he's more than happy to share his knowledge.
I need the physical brain.
You need the physical brain?
Yeah, I need to copyright and own his brain.
Oh, you're going to own his brain, huh?
Yeah, why not?
Watch out, Steve. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something funky. I'm going to use a ruler. Because rulers are awesome. Ruler. Linear ruler.
Wait.
What? You want to see me do it? What's going on, Ben?
That's what's going on.
I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry. There you go.
Oh. What, you own the rulers too?
I make it all.
You own all the
things. Copyright 2014.
Oh, it's not the regular ruler I need. I need the parallel line ruler. That's under special ruler. Parallel line. There we go.
Oh, I didn't turn on the right one.
It's so cool. I love this ruler so much.
Oh, that's so freaking cool.
This saves me so much time.
No, it saves time.
And it's cool.
Oh, no, that one. Just that one. I think it's absolutely necessary to make the sound effects when you're erasing little chunks of line.
Bloop. Yeah, the ruler tool in... I don't know if I like the rulers going this direction. I'm going to change it. No, Control Z doesn't go back for... I need to fix my history, obviously. But since I'm just penciling, I'm not too worried yet. I'm actually going to make this at a slightly different angle. Try on the ruler. Yeah. It's better.
Hey Ben, Wile E. Coyote's giving you some run for your money, man.
Uh-oh. What'd I do?
He's copywriting all the things.
Yeah.
No, see, I already copyrighted all the things.
I don't know, man.
I'll go. If he wants to throw down, we can throw down.
Uh-oh, Wiley, watch out. Ben's going to throw down if you're not careful. If you don't mess around.
Go for the knees. Go for the knees.
Yeah, gravity is not my friend.
Okay, and then disable ruler, which is the diamond. Yeah, that's a thing. Alrighty. Inking layer time. Oh, I like the hands and feet. Oh, is that a ball and chain?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
I should point out, I don't mean it like in a colloquial way. I mean it like in a prisoner sort of way. I love you, John.
I love you too.
You're a good husband.
You're the best.
Okay. Making sure.
Yeah.
Found the best thing to do with my marriage is to occasionally check in and just make sure everything is good.
Oh, you're the best, John.
That's right.
Time to ink. Finally. You guys are like halfway done with your ink, so I'm like just starting. So I am experimenting with a friend and brush right now. It's the nib, the inker nib flexible. So this is one of those funky ones. I don't know how I feel about them. The ones that they maintain the aspect ratio depending upon how much you've zoomed in. I don't know if I like those or not. I kind of like to be able to manually set my pen size.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to see if I can get used to them because apparently that's a thing that he does with a lot of his brushes.
Yeah.
So. I'm going to do a very cartoony sort of look to the character here. Thankfully with vector, I'm going to fix those little lines.
Oh, that's so cool.
Uh,
Just that vector eraser tool thing.
Most useful tool of all time. Oh my gosh.
Stupid useful.
It's sped up my inking so much. It's ridiculous. I'm glad I learned it. I've been trying to like teach it to everybody I know because I think it's important to. It's an important enough tool. Like the time increase that I've gotten
Oh yeah, no,
off of it is so fast, so much. It's like this is like the must-need feature, and it's like they don't advertise it.
yeah. I mean, hell, if I had a piece of software and that's all it did, I'd probably be okay with it.
Yeah.
What I really want to do is start playing with the flatting. See if I can figure that out too, because that again is something that would be, would pay off in spades just in time savings.
Yeah. It saved me just from flatting images in the stuff I've had to do. The one game project I'm doing with the University of Immaculacy, it has saved me tons and tons of time. I have so many characters that I mean, like in Act 1, we've got like 30 or 40 characters.
Yeah.
I had to illustrate every one of those characters. And I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but 30, 40 characters is a lot of characters to do portraits for, to do like colored, full color portraits for. And so it was, when I realized that I could do that flatting that way, I was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of downloaded it, or well, I just kind of downloaded a video, seeing how it was done, and then I was like, oh, so that's how it's done. And then I just started doing it, and it saved me so much time. And time is money. If you're doing illustration for any sort of professional project, time is money. The more time you spend, the more money you're losing.
Yeah.
Liking that, Jen. It's looking good. Switch over to Ben here. Take a look at. I like the patterns that you do for your infills, Ben. How do you come up with those?
Oh, these? It's easy. It's just yeah. I usually do like 4 lines, and then I get funny because people ask me about that all the time, and I don't do anything special. Just try and do lines at weird angles. That's all it is. It's nothing, nothing fancy at all. It's just repeating pattern, do over and over again. Just you gotta practice a little bit because every once in a while you get kind of stuck where you can't do do a line at a weird angle.
So you just kind of practice the patterns and come up with a pattern that looks good. And
just do it a few times, and eventually it just kind of sort of works itself out. And yeah, see, like I just did it there where you have too many lines. I don't know if you can see, like, those 5 lines
mm-hmm.
at the same angle as those 5 lines, so you just back up and redo them. Well, it's like I said, it's nothing fancy at all.
I like how it flows. Yeah, and if that's an indicator though. If people are asking you, it's like that looks cool. It does.
Yeah.
They look cool. I think that's and that's one of the things about your inking. I think that really sets it apart from a lot of others, is when you have to do your infill, instead of just flood filling black, you actually like do patterns. You do little things. You use your yeah. Well, the stuff I have of yours does, and then like you use gradients and screen tones in creative ways.
I'm trying. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but.
Well, everyone check out Ben's stuff and let him know if he's doing it right. Seriously, though, great stuff.
Thanks.
Let's see here. Kind of giving her a tag, sewed on little like name tag. Hello, my name is Prisoner. So how about that Destiny?
Yeah.
Haven't been able to play yet, but I'll be able to play soon. Soon. That's the general consensus. Soon. Ha ha ha.
That's what we're looking forward to.
I'll tell you what else I'm looking forward to. GTA 5 on PC.
On PC?
Yeah, it comes out in January.
Oh yeah, I think I might pick that one up on the Xbox One.
Look,
It'll be nice on Xbox One. Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to get it on PC because I have been waiting for that game to come out on PC ever since it released. They're like, Grand Theft Auto 5. I was like, okay, PC version? And then we didn't hear anything. And we still didn't hear anything. And I had friends who were like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and buy it. And then, right after the game came out, they're like, PC version will be coming out sometime. And then I had friends that had just bought it for Xbox, and they're like, yeah, nope. And they went and they returned the Xbox version. They're like, yeah, no, I'm not waiting. Or they're like, I can wait.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to that game. It'll be like Payday, but without the payday.
You mean Payday the game, or what?
Yeah. It'll be like Payday the game, but without the actual payday. Because they haven't implemented heists yet in GTA 5. So
Okay.
everybody's waiting. And Payday was like the game. They're like, well, they might not have heists, but we have heists.
Yeah.
Payday. That game is more fun than it should be.
Right.
That game is way more fun than it should be. Like you're playing it, you're like, this game should be really, really offending me right now. But I'm having so much fun.
It's the one that taught me I would never be a very good criminal.
Yes. You're like, yeah, no. That's not the life for me.
Yeah, I guess they randomized whether or not there's this one biker meth lab you have to go bust into, and or maybe it's just bikers. I don't know. It's the God, I think it's like the elephant mission, and it's like the first part is you have to break into this biker stronghold, and the fence has a certain percentage of being electrified. And I didn't know that because we'd played it for weeks, and I'd never ever had the fence electrify me. And I just walk up to it, right, not thinking anything, and all of a sudden I just lose all control of my character's bodily functions. It was intense.
Yeah, that's Payday. But there was this one where we had to sneak into a club, and that was the first time I played. And so the guy's like, yeah, you have to get into the club. I'm like, okay. So I start walking, and the objective says find a way into the club. Mm-hmm. So I walk right past the bouncer and into the club, and the guy goes, or you could just go through the front door. And then all of a sudden the club goes on alert, and it made the game so much harder.
Actually, you can walk in through the front door. You just got to walk in and just stay away from all the bouncers and stuff.
Yeah, but all the other guys were totally loaded out was the problem. So when I walked in, and I think someone followed me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then it set off the bouncers. It was really funny though. It's like, oh, what? That game. Oh my goodness. That game is a ridiculous game. Like so many ridiculous games. But that game is quite literally, after analyzing a little bit, it is Left 4 Dead without the zombies. Payday is. It's the objective-based cooperative shooter. It quite literally, if you compared them side by side, you would realize that it very much is Left 4 Dead without the zombies, because they have the special enemies that'll show up to fight you, and you have to fight the waves upon waves of certain things. The gameplay really does match up quite a bit with Left 4 Dead, which is funny. And I didn't realize it until my friend pointed it out. He goes, because I was telling him how much I love Left 4 Dead, and he goes, well, Left 4 Dead isn't too unique of a game. And I was like, are you kidding? And he goes, no, Payday did the same thing. Payday's Left 4 Dead without zombies. And I thought about it, and I was like, no, it's not. And I was like, wait a second. I think he's right.
Yeah, I can see
because, yeah, when you think about it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, you can kind of see it. Because it's the same kind of game, the same sort of little subgenre, and I love that subgenre. I love games that are heavy, heavy, heavy on the co-op, where you get to kind of just sort of play with your friends, and you can do it. It could be easy. It could be horrendously hard and punishing. But the fun part is like, if it's hard and punishing, it's hard and punishing for you and all of your friends.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just like, I suck. It's like, wow, this level's hard today. Oh, my trolls are so chubby. Not in a bad way, in a kind of a cute way. I hope I haven't engineered my trolls to be too cute. But maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why nobody takes them seriously. And they think that they're trolls. Feather, 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 feather. Let's see where Jen's at. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thanks.
Jen's like destroying this.
I am so tired. This is like way past my bedtime.
Oh, thanks for joining us, Jen.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for doing this.
Trying to come up with a feather style that looks halfway decent. It'll be easier once I get to the backgrounds. You always say that. So you guys got any other projects coming up soon that you want to share with the world of the internets?
Well, I've just been slowly working on Era of Great Wonders. I kind of stopped there for a couple of weeks, just trying to get a bunch of other stuff together, but getting ready to get back into it.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing the direction it takes next.
Me too.
Ooh, yeah. I've read ahead. It gets a little dark. A little intense.
And so who else is working on that, Jen, just for our listeners' sakes?
John Myers, my husband. He's the writer. I told him I want to do a giant monster comic, and he said okay. So he handed me this intense sociological experiment. It's pretty cool. Though.
John's like, you want monsters? I'll give you monsters.
That's right. The true monster is mankind.
You guys seen Futurama?
What?
The monster is man. Oh my gosh!
We are the true monsters.
The scary door. Imagine a world where the man is creating a monster. And the monster comes out. The monster is man. The end. So then the counter question is the true monster actually mankind? All those existential questions. It's like, don't ask me, I'm sleepy. I'm liking the bold style there, Jen.
Thanks. Trying to remember how to do gradients, or not gradients, tones.
Well, yeah, I kind of stopped worrying about tones once I realized that 5 could automatically do them, and I just had to draw things in gray.
Well, there's a way I was doing it that I really liked, and I can't remember what I was doing.
Wood.
I'll figure it out though.
Everyone loves wood. At least I'm not drawing a forest.
That's right. No more forests.
No more forests for me. I'm not trying any more forests. Forests are for the animals, not for
Not for drawing.
not for drawing. Definitely not.
Oh, I know how to do it. There we go. Nope.
Monsters, man.
I gotta remember how to spin the page.
Pinch and zoom.
Hmm?
Oh, I'm just being a smart aleck. I said pinch and zoom.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
With our new gesture-based controls. The gesture-based controls are useful to like the 5 of us that decided to buy into the touchscreen.
Yeah.
To the rest of the world, it's an absolutely meaningless exercise.
It's a gimmick.
It is. Oh no, it's very much a gimmick. Like I do not deny the fact that it is a gimmick. The whole touchscreen thing. I just like being able to pinch to zoom. Or to pan.
Yeah. Well, I can see how it would be useful. I truly believe if I replace this Cintiq anytime soon, I'm going to try and go 24-inch big, ridiculous sized.
The $4,000 one.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think if I ever replace this one, that's probably what I'd go with too. I mean, there are plenty of off-brand, like aftermarket. There's like the Unova one, which all the people I know that have the newer ones say they're great. I bought a Unova when they had the bad digitizers, so unfortunately I had a bad experience with mine. But they use the wall-top digitizers now, and I did buy a wall-top tablet a while back just to try it out, and that thing has got the best pressure response I've ever used in a tablet. But the pens take a battery.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of putting a battery in the pen.
I don't know. This is going to sound weird, but I just don't know if I'd trust. I don't know if I'd trust anything other than a Wacom. I mean, that sounds like super brand loyal, but.
Well, but it has to do with reputation. I mean, Wacom has a reputation for producing consistent results with their hardware.
And especially, spending as much as we are on these things.
Thousands upon thousands of dollars on a stinking tablet. It better work. I mean, I don't want to. And that's the thing with the larger like Unovas, like it, and the other imitators, the Cintiq knockoffs. They cost $1,000 or $2,000. I'm like, I'm not, sure, I'll spend $1,000 on a smaller Cintiq because I know it's going to work. I don't want to spend it on some no-name that I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it scares me a little. And, of course, you get Ray Frendon, who's a big supporter of these other brands, and he tends to be very generous with his reviews. People watch his reviews and go, oh, he says it's awesome. He's a really good illustrator. I'll go ahead and buy it. When actually a lot of times he gets a very good, specially vetted demo unit.
Oh, sure.
That the companies send him a demo unit. So I'm pretty sure they iron out. I know how that works.
Hey, Nathan.
Yeah.
Hey, so I want to do like a tone, but I want it to really look. I want it to look like a tone. How do I make the size of the dots bigger?
Decrease your lines.
No.
That's not what you wanted?
No, I mean I want them to look like big dots. You know what I mean? Like. Like, it looks good over here, but it doesn't look good actually on the image.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, is that...
Gray?
Can you zoom in? I'm not seeing the tone at all. I'm just seeing gray.
You zoom in, it's there.
Okay, that's because your DPI is so... You're going to need to... Yeah, you're going to need to... That's because of your DPI, I think.
Is there any way around that?
You could create a new image, or you could export the dots.
Well, see, check it out. So if you go to this, right, it gives you simple tone settings. So I'm wondering if there's something that's less simple, like better tone settings.
Well, type in even smaller lines. Like, just you can type a value in. You don't have to select it from the drop down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Oh, rainbow.
Looking good, Ben. Ben's working on background.
Thanks. Sorry, I'm in the zone.
That's fine. I'm just filling the vocal void.
Yeah, that's one thing you do better than me. I will sit here very quietly and do my thing.
Well, I watch a lot of live streams, so I've learned that the best thing is to just have somebody talk. I mean, I'll go... That's actually the reason I ink so slowly when I'm on these streams, is because I spend time talking.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because I love the audience, and the audience tolerates me, so... Hatching. Yeah. So I'm getting ready, hoping that it'll be good for Minions to be coming out pretty soon. I'm really looking forward to launching that.
Yeah, you said what, in December, right?
December.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to buffer about a year's worth of script.
Yeah.
That's my first buffer, which a lot of people be like, "You're crazy." It's like, no, that's not as crazy as you might think. If I have script to work off of, I can just sit and work off the script. And that was one of the reasons I had to delay, is because I had to fix the script.
Yeah.
Which is very, very important, because I want my readers to have a really good story, right? What I believe is a really good story. Mm-hmm. Things are subjective, of course, but I want to provide the best story I can to my readers, and so if it requires that I delay a little bit for the launch, so be it.
Yeah.
But I am planning on a December launch for the comic, which is going to be cool. And then after that, someone is really pinging me a lot on Skype. Sorry. Okay. And then after that, I'm hoping that the cartoon, when it's going to just keep up the momentum with a buffer. Like I said, I want to have like a year worth of buffer in script, about 2 to 3 months worth of buffer on penciled pages.
Sure.
Like 6 months in thumbnails, 2 to 3 months in pencils, and then about a month ahead on inks. Because inks for me are pretty mindless. I can do those when school gets hard. I can sit and ink, because I can ink while I'm like watching an online lecture and stuff like that, because it's a mindless thing that I've trained myself to just do while doing other stuff. And so, like, that's how I used to do my strip previous, is I ink while like watching TV and stuff like that. So a lot of times it doesn't feel right to me if I'm inking and not doing something else at the same time.
Oh, that's wild. I have a hard time like even listening to like a podcast. I'm inking. Yeah.
But I mean, you've also, yeah. So you have a hard time like listening to other stuff? Too distracting?
Well, yeah. I mean, I find myself really wanting to concentrate on what I'm listening to, so I just can't. I don't multitask very well. I'll just put it that way.
Well, I think the other thing is just like when I'm doing my inking or other stuff, like I try to do very tight pencils.
Yeah.
On the foreground elements. Now backgrounds take me forever, as you guys have seen. Backgrounds are kind of this perpetual nightmare for me that I'm working on getting better at, because the cartoonist in me, I'm used to not doing a whole lot of backgrounds because I'm just showing character face all the time. So this it's a new thing for me to kind of venture into that. I've got to do backgrounds in every panel and kind of show the world that people are in. I can't just do this as a cartoon strip. So it's been it's not a bad experience. I'm very happy that I've learned a lot about that kind of stuff, but it does take a lot of my time trying to figure out how to do that. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying, I try to make my pencils very tight. So my pencils, I will probably only listen to music that does not have lyrics. No lyrics in the music, no podcasts, no shows, when I'm penciling.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'm tightening things in, and that's when I'm getting my general concept down for what I want to do on my page. And then what I do after that is I'll actually, when I'm inking, because I've kind of like laid down my guide for exactly what I want in my comic strip, or whatever, then I can just go ahead and ink to my heart's content and just take what I've penciled and ink it. So. That's kind of what I do. Okay, some stuff dripping out of the bucket. It's a little gross. I don't actually look as depressed as I wanted to, but whatever. It's because her eyes are too shiny. Dull them up a little. Make her look a little bit more sad. Not angry, sad. Alright, so yeah. I guess I'll switch the camera back to me. I've noticed on a lot of these, like, I won't show my stuff while I'm inking, and I show, like, you guys a ton. So who else is... yeah, like I'll show you guys, but I won't show my stuff. It's really funny.
I have a problem of not looking up, so I just looked up and saw Jenn's, and
hers is looking great.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I really think it's an entertaining thing. I love the dynamic poses, and yeah, the very dynamic tone on that. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't drawn in like several weeks, so I'm kind of trying to remember how to do that.
What, drawing?
Yeah.
That's the problem too, right? Like, you don't draw and you kind of forget how to use your tools.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember, it's like that math thing. You don't use it for a little while, and then you just totally forget how to do it. Mm-hmm. You're like, I can't math.
It's hard.
Math is hard. I will not deny that math is hard. Okay. Time for some lines. This parallel line tool comes in really handy.
Ooh, look at that. Okay.
What?
Oh, I'm just playing with some settings that I didn't know were here. So, that's cool.
Peek at Jen's. Oh, you're adjusting the angle of the tone.
Yep.
Yeah. That's really cool because you can also set the tone to be different shapes. So you can
Yeah.
use like diamonds, squares.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun to mess with tones if you're doing toning.
So Nathan,
Pretty
so
cool.
if I'm going to do flats, do I do a raster layer or a vector layer?
For the flats,
Yeah,
you cannot do fills on a vector layer.
it has to be raster. Okay.
It has to be raster. That actually has to do with, see, last spring I actually wrote my own vector drawing program for my computer graphics class, which was taught actually at UNM by one of the guys who invented, or well, he's one of the major guys that worked on OpenGL, which is what computer graphics programs are written in.
Mm.
And so I took this class from him, and I wrote a vector graphics package, and the one problem I couldn't solve, because it's so super hard, is actually figuring out how to fill in vectors. And so, yeah, the fact that they don't have that as a feature in Manga Studio is not a surprise.
So
And so you can only fill in a raster.
yeah, okay, I thought I remembered that. So you put the layer underneath of it, and then
It could be on top. The layer can actually be anywhere. I just say put it beneath because you want your line art to be on top usually.
and then you do what? You do
Right click on the line art layer if it's a vector layer.
okay.
Click set as. Now you're going to have to do a lot of clicking and dragging. Let me just switch my camera view over to you so that I can walk you through this, because I'm sure people watching will want to know. So go to layer properties or layer settings on the layer and set as reference layer.
Okay.
Click that on your vector layer. All right, so now you can just go ahead and click on your raster layer. Go to your fill bucket tool, which you already have open. Click the wrench logo under tool property.
This
Down. Down,
this
down. Bottom right hand corner. Yeah, there's two wrench. Sorry. Then you go to. It's a little low res. I can't quite see it, but it should be one of the ones that has reference multiple layers or something like that. Yeah. And so you click that checkbox. Click the lighthouse icon.
So that yeah.
The lighthouse. And then click the fill to middle of vector. Click that and select it. Down. That one. And then I usually click the eye so that that's visible by default in the general fill tool palette, because that'll just make the option visible. That's the eye does, is it makes it visible or invisible. So now, if you have your color selected and you go to your raster layer, you can just close that. There's no OK button. It's automatically applied. So you just click the X and exit out. Now, what you do is, okay, and then if it does gap fill at all, and it doesn't quite fill an area, you can actually kind of, and you need to back up a little bit, but you can click and kind of drag with the fill bucket tool over multiple regions, and it'll fill all those regions in. And I've just found it saves me a ton of time.
Oh God, yes.
Because I normally paint that stuff in by hand. So.
Same here.
Yeah, any amount of time saved.
Oh.
Right?
Man.
I didn't know about this until like a month and a half ago. I was like, why didn't I know about this? It's the coolest feature. The coolest feature. That's almost more.
I'm going to say the vector eraser is the coolest feature, but this is a very close second.
It's a very close second.
Oh,
it's so powerful.
That's awesome.
And it makes your flatting super fast. And then I just dupe my flat layer to use, so I keep a copy for my selection layer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If I'm coloring in here, otherwise I just take it into Photoshop and color Photoshop as normal. Bloop, bloopity bloop. So, any fun conversations going on in the chat? Let's see. Oh, people are working on their own projects, which is awesome. I think, that's one thing that I find fun to do when I'm watching other people live stream is a lot of times it'll inspire me to work on my own projects.
Yeah.
Which is great. A lot of live streams I'll actually, and I hate to say this, guys, but I do mute the live stream, especially if people are, like, listening to their own playlist. And it's like their playlist playing over their speakers, and you're hearing it tinny over over their microphone. I hate that so much. So I'll actually, I will mute a lot of live streams. So then people will be like, I was saying something to you. Did you hear? I'm like, oh, sorry. It's like, I don't want to hear somebody else's music over their microphone. I can listen to my own mix. But that's okay. I mean, that's why I don't do music here. So that way, if people on my live streams, I don't do music or anything. So that way, if people want to listen to their own stuff, they can just turn down my. I don't care. Like, if I need to get a hold of somebody, I'll just ping them on Instant Messenger. I'll be like, I'm doing your piece for you. And send them a text message. So they're like, oh, he's doing my piece for me.
Alright, guys. I am out of here.
Alright, you turning in?
Yes, it is crazy past my bedtime.
Oh, it's 12:30. Wow.
But it was really cool hanging out with you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks. So let's take a look at your piece real quick so that people can see it before you go. That is awesome.
Thank you.
I really like that.
Bucket.
So don't forget to put Don't forget to post it, Jen. Don't forget to post it.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. I will remember this time.
Yes, please post.
That looks great, Jen.
Cool.
Looks awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, Jen.
All right, take it easy, guys.
All right, have a good night.
Night.
Night. Yeah, I'm probably about done myself. We're getting pretty close.
And I'm just adding a little bit more texture, and I got to do a little lighting thing, and then I'll be finished. Because I'm just doing black and white for this piece. I'm not coloring it.
Yeah.
I've actually got class tomorrow morning, so I can't justify.
Oh, yeah.
But I do think we had a good show.
Yeah.
Which I was happy about. I'm always happy for a good show, and then we were able to take care of business, so.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah. Okay. I love how that roller just rotates with the page. That's so cool.
See, now that just looks like a bathing suit.
What, your guy?
Well, the orange.
I don't know. It is a female troll. You can maybe lighten up the orange a little bit. Probably be all you'd need to do to make it look more like a prison uniform. For anybody watching at home, vector eraser time. Bam! 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 Bam!
Heck yeah.
Love that so much. Oh. It makes my life so much easier. That's the real question. Do I keep those or not keep those? That is the question. Oh yeah, I was gonna throw in an extra raster layer. Yeah, see, I'm For anybody watching me, I'm going to do the same thing with the fill. Set as reference layer, but I'm just going to throw in some grays.
Yeah. I like your cross-hatching.
What?
Sorry. I said I like your cross-hatching.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm practicing.
I guess it's not really cross-hatching, but hatching.
My hatching, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm practicing.
Oh, that's good, man.
I'm just trying to... Let's see. So, now this layer is actually above, so I gotta take that down like that. And I can scribble it in here and fill in those areas. Make this a lighter gray. And for anyone wondering about how I extend my vector out like this, I just hold down Control, and that gives me my Object Select tool. I can adjust my vectors so they intersect, so I can fill in more easily.
Yeah.
But I don't know how those guys that do like daily live streams do it.
Yeah.
So you guys are crazy. Have to hit that with brush. Fill. So I guess I am flatting technically. Because I wanted to add a little bit more texture before I go. Texture. Yeah, the one problem with I mean, it's not really a problem with this technique. It's just it might add a little tedium. Is the if you're doing a lot of hatching, it's not necessarily as effective.
Yeah, there's going to be. I mean, I already noticed that. I mean, there's, it's not foolproof, but I mean, it doesn't need to be.
Then again,
you're going to do some of the work, but.
Yeah, you can use it to get the bulk, and then you just go in with your brush, though, and you just clean up with the brush, which is just as handy, in my opinion. And another thought: if you intend on doing this technique in coloring with your line art, you could very easily do your hatching on a separate vector layer, because actually you can set the eraser to reference like multiple layers, I believe.
Yeah.
So then, that being the case, it's much easier to. I want that lighter. Yeah. Then it's much easier to go ahead and fill stuff in, because then when you set your reference layer, you just set the vector layer that doesn't have the hatching.
Yeah.
A little fine detail on it. So I think I finally decided with minions, it is going to be the straight black and white.
Yeah.
Toned. Because I think that the actual tone, the black and white ink work is just stronger.
Yeah.
And the tone does kind of take away from a lot of the detail and work that I've put into the piece.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, it's a tough call because it doesn't look great, and
so hard. That was like a soul searching thing, man. Trying to figure out, do I color this? Do I tone this? Do I leave it in black and white? But from a financial perspective of getting it printed, as well as just a practical perspective of like what looks better.
Yeah.
The straight up black and white. Though some of you viewers might have differing opinions, For those of you, some people have seen.
Well, and they're wrong, but no.
It is there are certain factors that I do really heavily have to take into consideration, such as what am I going to do when the book gets printed, because it is going to go to print, and that is a major deciding factor on what format I have to go with.
Well, no, just out of curiosity, I mean, have you thought about doing a Kickstarter or anything like that?
If I can get enough readers,
Mm-hmm.
then I will definitely do a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo type thing. But that I'd have to pass a certain threshold. Like you need what they call, in order for one of those to be successful, and a lot of people don't know this, you need what are called, it's called the 1,000 true fans.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're absolutely true, but the way I've kind of been thinking about, well, and granted, this is truly a conversation for another day, but
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I think as long as the fan base is there and you have enough people that can kind of help to promote it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do it with reasonable price ranges if I did do a Kickstarter. Like that's not the issue. The issue is like if you want to do offset print run, you need to have enough people willing to buy the book.
Yeah.
That you can order the 2,000 copies or whatever, because you have to order like 2,000 copies. That you can order the 2,000 copies with the expectation that you will actually be able to move a decent number of those.
Sure.
Because they're very expensive.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a lot of factors to consider.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's one of the things I always get really bogged down in is the logistics of print runs and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's something we can talk about someday. But
I mean, that'll probably make a good topic for a show in the future. It's going to be the like getting stuff published, because I mean, that's one of the interesting things about our show is the fact that we do actually have a decent number of us that are published, that have either been self-published or have like been published by publishers, and that's a big deal. That is because that a lot of people coming into it, they have no idea what they're getting themselves into when they start out. I mean, when I started, I was lucky enough to find a group of people on like some of these web forums and stuff that I wasn't stumbling around completely in the dark. I actually had, and by the time I was getting to the print run, like I already knew you guys, so I was able to like ask and get advice before I went into it. And I would not recommend ever running into something like publishing, regardless of what medium you're in. If you could be doing music, you could be doing whatever. Don't go into going to press blind on anything.
Exactly. Well, I'm kind of like the mind that I'm really into like I guess like guerrilla printing. Keeping my costs like way down, doing it super small print runs, so I'm limiting my investment or what I have to invest in order to actually print the books down to something that's very manageable.
Yeah, and you found some really good print shops that will do that too, which is awesome because.
Yeah, well, there's some work that you can do on the front end that makes it easier and cheaper for you on the back end. Finding a good print shop is a huge part of that. Finding somebody, somebody who you trust and ultimately understands, and this is the biggest thing, but understands that you're not making any money off of this. Well, but that's important. I mean, if you're working with another business and that business knows that you're basically selling these things for a huge markup, then sure. I mean, they're going to want a chunk of that because they're putting in work. And I'm not saying this is true of every print shop, but I lucked out and got a really, really great print shop, and it's a family-run shop. It's a very local, great thing, and you know, they kind of were interested enough to kind of want to know what I was doing, and took an interest, and so have been able to work out prices with me that are very reasonable, and they know that I'm not making, you know, I'm losing money essentially just to get this book printed, but you know, they understand that it's a labor of love and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, I've actually, and I hate to say this, but I mean, she actually gave me money back after the print one was already done once. I mean, how do you find a print shop that ever does that?
That's so rare.
I know. And she literally said, well, how much did you make, you know, after the con? And she would let me print stuff ahead of time, which was amazing. Or, I mean, get it printed and then, you know, go to the con, make my money back, and then come back and pay her. And I did that once, and she, you know, actually gave me money back because I didn't make as, you know, I didn't sell as much as I was hoping. It's just, you know, again, I mean, that relationship is absolutely key to, you know, helping, you know, you out too, and or helping you use the printer or public or not or printee, I guess. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I totally understand what you're talking about. Like with my Lakewood book, which is available for sale now, that one was a very small. I mean, I ordered a decent number of books, but it was a pretty small print run. I mean,
yeah,
because I was actually trying a couple different printers. I ordered a number of books from a printing company that I knew would produce a okay quality book relatively quickly, and that was the Lulu Press.
Yeah.
The books I got back from Lulu were surprisingly nice.
Oh yeah.
Like I was very, very impressed with the quality of the print. I was like, you know, if I need to get one-offs done, and I am in a pinch in time, like I don't have a lot of time, these guys, you know, Lulu, that is definitely the way to go. And they also reevaluated their pricing strategy, so they're actually competitive now, which before they just charged you out the nose for everything, which was ridiculous. Yeah. So Lulu's, you know, great for printing. But then I actually tried this little company, this little mom and pop shop in upstate New York called Superior POD. And I was like, you know, they do games, they do board games and stuff like that. That's what they print. And they're print on demand. And they started offering books. They're like, we'll print books. And so I was like, okay. And so I ordered from them. And unfortunately, there were some issues during the ordering process, and it was dumb stuff, but it had to do with, you know, like they had too many orders. That the convention was near Gen Con, and they had all these board game orders that they were trying to fill, and it's just this teeny tiny shop. And so they were like super late on my orders, and I was like, my convention's this week, guys, and I don't have my books. They overnighted my books to me. Like they took a major hit in their like profits off of my order just so that they could pay to ship the books to me overnight. Yeah. So that I would have them in time for the convention. And I was really worried, but then when the books showed up, okay, two things happened. First of all, my little Minions book, 24-hour comic book, I had originally ordered them with glossy covers. They sent them without glossy covers. Mm-hmm. And I was a little upset because I paid an extra like $50 for glossy covers.
Sure.
And I was like, you guys sent them without the glossy covers. Now the funny thing was, they looked awesome without glossy covers. Sure. Like the books looked great. And so I was like, well, I wanted the glossy covers and I paid for them, but these books look fine. Like I wasn't going to be like anal and be like, take them back, because they looked fine. Yeah. And I was like, but you know, I did want the money back for what I paid. So I told them, I sent them an email. I said, hey, you guys forgot to do the glossy covers. I said, but it's okay. Just refund the difference in the price, and it's no big deal. And so they said, sure. And they just credited back to my card the amount of money difference.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because I was being reasonable with them. They were totally reasonable with me. And those showed up the first day, and then the second day, they overnighted 2 packages. They sent me the copies of the Lakewood book, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It looked so much nicer than even the really awesome looking Lulu prints. They were like the prettiest like they did not look like print-on-demand books.
Yeah.
They looked like something. They were professionally done. They were all packaged with tons and tons of care. Like I looked at it, I was like, this was awesome. And they do small print runs, and they're one of the few sites that actually has a calculator that will tell you exactly how much your order is going to cost before you order.
Yeah.
So you can go and you can just use them to compare. And their prices, though they're not super cheap, they're better than a lot of the places I was checking local. Most of these local places, I was like, hey guys, I want to get a quote on this book, and I'm going to order, let's say, I'm just going to throw out a number. I'm going to order 100 books.
Sure.
Because that's like standard for a lot of people, 50 or 100. And so most of these local companies came back, and they're like, yeah, that's going to be $3,000.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, $3,000 for the book? And they're like, yeah. Problem? I'm like, yeah, there's a problem. I can't. $3,000 for a black and white book is for 100 copies of black and white book. That's $30 a book.
Yeah.
Which, I could not sell my book for $30 a book.
Well, yeah, and I think this has kind of been my stance on it for a while. I mean, I think, us as publishers, especially as self-publishers, we have to take we have to take all the responsibility and not only the brunt of the costs for these things, but also in preparing them and doing everything we can do on our side on the front end to make things affordable, basically to make sure our costs are as low as possible so that we can afford to do these things, because
Yeah, I mean, it's a labor of love, and I mean, we produce these books, and and that's the thing with a lot of these indie ones. Like, if you guys, those of you who are watching, if you see like indie authors trying to sell their own material, like, buy it. It means a lot to the indie authors, and a lot of times they're really not making a whole lot of money off these things. They're doing it because of the craft, because they love to do it. I mean, I love drawing comics just for the sake of drawing comics. Making money on it's just a nice bonus.
Yeah, and case in point, I mean, if somebody's charging $5 for a book, there's a good chance that their cost was probably like $3.50 on that book.
Yeah.
$1.50 a book, might seem like a lot, but you also figure that there's usually months worth of work put into these things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty marginal, and that's the thing. I mean, if you can afford it, if you're if you're a consumer of these kind of things and appreciate and enjoy stories and especially create your own stuff or indie stuff, if you're in a position that you can support that and want to, then more power to you. It's awesome, because that's what keeps people doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I'll step off.
Yeah, no. You make a very valid point. Yeah, it's with the indie art and stuff like that. It's just such a big thing. I mean, like the cost margins are not like with Marvel, where they're printing, or DC, or some of these major labels where they're printing the book, and it costs them like 25 cents or 50 cents an issue to dump these things out, because they're printing by the hundreds of thousands. When you've got small print runs and we're ordering them from a mom and pop shop or something like that, it costs us, usually the markup is very, very nominal above what it actually costs us to print them. Which, that's one of the reasons why I think the new stuff coming out, which is actually what I'm hoping to do with Minions, is that Patreon thing, instead of Kickstarter, actually doing Patreon.
Yeah.
Where people actually pledge money
ongoing, right?
Ongoing, on either, like, you can do it on an issue-by-issue basis, which I'm potentially considering, or they do it on a page-by-page basis or a month-by-month basis. It depends on your publishing scheme.
Yeah.
And so, like, I've seen some really cool stuff where people actually will illustrate their comic page, or they'll do it page by page, and they just ask for, just donations, $1 a page if people want to support. which, if you can, that's great. If you can't, it's understandable. I mean, people understand. But then, that actually helps directly fund the production of the comic.
Yeah.
The money goes straight into the pocket of the creator, and the creator uses that to help them continue to produce. Whereas Kickstarter, one of the things, Steve didn't mention it tonight, of course, because we were talking about Manga Studio, but one of the things he mentioned at a comic artist meeting we had yesterday, a local meetup, was, he does these Kickstarters for his books, because he does awesome books. He does these Kickstarters for his books. He gets all this money, and it looks great because he's got all this money, but then almost all of that money goes straight into getting the books printed, getting the books fulfilled, and then at the very end, what he's left with is very little.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And all the work to go into the Kickstarter and fulfill, it's awesome, but, what he gets out of it is actually quite small. It essentially just funds the production of the book, which was the point anyway, so it's not like he's complaining, but,
Yeah.
And
it's not like you're rolling in money after this, like, whoa.
Yeah, and,
Like,
and that's a common misconception, I think, with a lot of people, is that the Kickstarter is a way to make quick money, quick cash on these comics and stuff like that, when really it's not. It's, it's a way to fund and pre-order. And so, but the good thing about comics is, or webcomics in particular, like the stuff we do, we can show off what we have and be like, I have a comic done.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, but yeah, and so it's like, I have a product, this is my product, you can, I want to get this product printed, I want to get it printed at a reasonable price for all of you guys, and the cool thing about Kickstarters is it can really drive down the book price. Instead of a book, an anthology, like my Lakewood anthology is actually really big. It's very thick for an anthology compared to a lot of other people's books, which a lot of people are like, so why are you charging so much? It's like, well, have you seen how big this book is?
Yeah.
It's a pretty bbig book. It's got like 370
yeah.
strips or something in it. It's not a tiny book like a lot of the books people have for sale. And it's because there's a lot of content there. But with a Kickstarter, instead of you have your copy, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. But instead of being $15 a book, which is what that goes for if you buy it local, it's $20 online, because that covers all the shipping and fulfillment and other stuff that I have to take care of, insurance, blah blah blah, whatever. But the books themselves, like, I would love to get that book down to $10. It's just not feasible for me. I can't do that because that's only then I'd only make, after all the effort of getting it sent to the publisher and getting it shipped and stuff, I'm making like 50 cents a copy sometimes, or depending upon how many you order.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely for the love of the stuff, and that's why I try real hard to support independent comic creators a lot in my productions.
Yeah.
So are you just about finished with yours then?
Yeah.
You think you're gonna wrap it?
I'm kind of winded down a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. It's 1 a.m., so probably good to wind down. Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, and so that's yours, and then this one's mine that I did, which was fun. Cool. Actually, mine ended up being cel shaded, which I was not expecting. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, it turned out really good. I like it.
Actually, the cel shading doesn't look bad with the inks the way I do it. Maybe I should try coloring my couple pages like this and see if they look any good.
Yeah.
It's a thought.
Anyway. I like that this is a shadow. That turned out really nice.
With the light?
Yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah, I had a thought, like I was seeing everyone else was doing bars, so I was like, I'm going to do shadows.
That worked out really nicely.
Yeah. All right, well, then, anyways, I guess we will wrap up here. So thanks to everybody who came out to our show and decided to come watch. We really appreciate it. So thank you guys for coming out and supporting us on the show. And feel free to participate in your own random character challenge and send us your results, because we'd love to see it and we'd love to share it with everybody in a future episode. So our next show will probably be in December, which is just because like I've got a bunch of stuff with school that I'm wrapping up here in the next couple of weeks. So I mean, we're only a few weeks out from December, so. And so if you got any ideas for show topics and other things, let us know so that we can share with you and help everybody out. All right?
Yep.
Well, thanks everybody for coming, and have a good night. Goodbye.
Bye.